Okay, welcome. And we are officially going to get started with radical confidence, the three-step framework to reclaim your power and purpose. I am so glad that you're here. Oops, we got somebody else coming in. Hold on. I'm so glad that you're here, and I want you to know that you shouldn't take this lightly, the commitment that you've made to spend the next hour with me. This training can shift how you present yourself in life, business, and relationships, and really in every aspect. I want you to know how meaningful it is that you've carved out this time for yourself in a world of distractions. Showing up like this is already a powerful move. So thank you for being here. So I invite you to pause multitasking and give this gift to yourself in this next hour. All right, let's go. My promise by the end of this training today, everybody go ahead and mute, please. By the end of this training, you'll know exactly how to shift out of self doubt, stop second guessing yourself, and finally break free from sabotaging your dreams so you can confidently make decisions, feel empowered, and lead a life of joy, clarity, and prosperity in any area that you choose. And more than that, you'll discover why the things you've tried before haven't worked and what does. Imagine skipping the trial and error and stepping directly into what's proven to work. And that's what today is all about. Before diving further, let me know if you can relate to this. So let's get real for a moment. Let's see if any of these resonate with you. You're tired of hoping self doubt just magically disappears, but it never does. Worrying feels like your default setting. Peace seems out of reach even when everything looks fine. You crave more joy, but something is always in the way. Some days it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So, if any of these resonate, just know that you are not alone and you're exactly where you need to be. So, if you were nodding your head yes to any of these, I want you to know something really important. It's not your fault. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're not doing it wrong. I've lived in that space of self-doubt and wondering what was wrong with me and why nothing was working. And the truth, we were never taught how to build true, grounded, lasting confidence. And so we try to think positive or push through, but if the system underneath is broken, no amount of effort is going to fix it. And that's what I'm here to help you shift today. So nowadays, determining who's right and whom to trust can be a challenging task. If you feel like I did back then, I would have done almost anything to stop second guessing myself and beating myself up so I could have radical confidence in following through on my true desires, except nothing seemed to work. What I'm about to share with you is the simplest and fastest way I've found to move from self doubt to true embodied confidence. Just imagine you wake up feeling clear, grounded, and you feel ready, no more spinning thoughts. Imagine you stop relying on wishful thinking and start trusting yourself completely. You make aligned decisions with a peaceful mind, no more second guessing. and negative thoughts lose their grip on you. You finally feel like yourself again, authentic, energized, and in control. Now take a deep breath and just feel into this. Which one speaks to you the most? If you want, go ahead and drop that in the chat. I'd love to know more. What resonates with you? So, before we dive deeper, I want you to know. Let me just see here. Let me check the chat here. Okay. And if anybody's new, all of them, thank you, Jen, for that. Linda, negative thoughts lose their grip on you. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yep. I relate. Brandy, number 5. Okay. Yeah. I totally relate. I was all of these, just so you know. So I relate to all of them. So I want you to know who you're learning from. So this is me, and I'm Karen Treaster, transformational mindset coach, founder of the Never Settle Life Coaching, and creator of the Confidence Ignited Method. And I specialize in helping women shift their internal stories, unlock their inner power, and create a life that flows with confidence, ease, and joy, without burnout or self-blame. This isn't just a career for me, it's a calling. I bring decades of experience and heart to everything that I teach. So whether you've been stuck in self-doubt for years or just ready for something more, you're in the right place. And I'm here to guide you with tools that truly work. This photo was taken of me in Las Vegas. Can you see the whole photo? If you can't, let me know. I'm hoping you can. It was supposed to be fun. I was supposed to be having a great time. But as you can tell, I was looking pretty miserable. We saw Cirque du Soleil, we saw Elton John, incredible food, shopping, and I was anything but happy. And I felt trapped in a life that looked fine on the outside, but was empty inside. I was second guessing myself a lot, my choices, my worth, my future. My confidence was gone, and I didn't see a way forward. My marriage felt like a prison, and I had resigned myself to thinking maybe this is just how life was going to be. This is not true. And I remember sitting on a pond in Maine when I lived there, tears streaming down my eyes and my face, and just feeling completely lost. I dreamed of feeling free, alive, and deeply connected, and I could not find the path. I was exhausted from trying to be everything for everyone and feeling like I never was enough. That's the way I felt. I tried everything I knew at the time: spiritual classes, new age teachings, healing modalities, and they opened me up, but they didn't free me. It wasn't until a decade later that I finally dared to leave my 36-year marriage. Now, not because being alone is a solution for everyone. I am not saying that. I certainly tried, but because I knew I couldn't be myself within this relationship. It just wasn't going to happen. So I dove into personal growth and meditation, Reiki, mindset work, all the tools. And while they helped, something was still missing. And I still questioned myself. I hesitated and I played small in ways that really held me back from what I wanted. And that's when I realized that knowledge alone doesn't create transformation. I didn't really know transformation back then, but I knew I needed to change. That's all I knew. But it wasn't working. And so you need strategic evidence-based, deep mindset shifts that rewire how you think, respond, and show up. And that's what we're diving into today. So, can you relate? You've read the books, you've taken courses, you've tried to stay positive, but still you find yourself second guessing, people pleasing, overthinking, and feeling stuck in imposter syndrome. You are not alone. And if you're here, I know you want more and you're ready. So there came a moment, frustrated, stuck, and deeply disappointed, when I said no more. No more living small. No more letting fear and doubt run the show. Powerful mentors, especially Tony Robbins, I also worked with Bob Proctor and a lot of others, inspired me. And I was in awe of how he helped people transform in real time. And when I discovered that one of his secret weapons was NLP, neuro linguistic programming, I knew I had to understand that for myself. That curiosity became a calling, and I began studying directly with a founder of NLP, Richard Bandler, determined to figure out why all the personal development work that I had done and the brave actions I was doing things and that I had been taking weren't shifting me at the core, at the core issues, the self-doubt, the second guessing and inner criticism. It wasn't changing any of that. And that journey changed everything. What I discovered helped me break free from the old patterns that kept me stuck. And it led me to create the methodology that I now use with clients to achieve lasting change. Because here's the truth. You don't need to spend years trying trying all the things like I did. And you just need the right tools that work with how your mind functions. Oprah says, when you know better, you do better. And today I want to help you know better so you can live, lead, and love with confidence and alignment. So even though I now guide others to build radical confidence and live with clarity and power, it didn't happen overnight. It took me 6 to 7 years of trial and error, of unlearning everything I thought was the right way. And I poured time, energy, and thousands of dollars into programs, certifications, and coaching, chasing that elusive magic formula for confidence and success. And yet, I still found myself second guessing myself and avoiding opportunities, struggling to trust my voice and decisions. It was incredibly frustrating because I wanted it so badly. And I knew it wasn't meant for, I knew I was meant for more. But I didn't have the right support. And I didn't have the support that would bridge the gap between where I was and where I wanted to be. I needed a guide, someone who could help me see what was keeping me stuck and show me the tools to shift it for good. And that's what I have for you. Could everybody please mute? I can hear people in the background. Thank you. So that ultimately led me to NLP, energy work, and the study of relationship dynamics. So through that journey, I created the transformation I was craving. And more importantly, I developed a method that now helps others achieve the same shift without wasting time, confusion, or succumbing to self-doubt. You don't have to spend years figuring it all out like I did. There is a faster, more aligned path. What I discovered after all the trial and error wasn't that I was lacked willpower or discipline. It wasn't even that I didn't believe in myself. The real issue? My brain was running on outdated programming, deep subconscious patterns that kept self doubt alive no matter how hard I worked. Once I began addressing that, the invisible inner script, I experienced real lasting change. And that's when everything started to click. The confidence, the clarity, and the ability to trust myself again. That's also when I stopped spinning in circles and started making meaningful progress fast. And now that's exactly what I help my clients do. Skip the years of struggle and go straight to the root for powerful, sustainable results. So if you're here, I know you're ready too. Ready for the easier path, ready for aligned success without the second guessing. So let me ask you this. Wouldn't you love a simpler, faster way to experience joy, peace, and confidence for real this time? All right. Before we dive in, I want to just give you a quick study here, that a case study from a couple of my clients, just to see what it can do, how it can help you. And so Mary said, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I went from thinking that my future was bleak to feeling every day is an opportunity to manifest the blessings that, along with your patience and tools, my heart is full. And bleak doesn't even describe where Mary was when she came to me. She had been in therapy for years, overwhelmed by negativity and unable to move past her pain. And everything felt heavy and uncertain. But after working together, Mary became clear on her vision. She reconnected with her power and learned to navigate life with trust and ease. Her words: life feels light, hopeful, and aligned. And she even called our meeting a moment of serendipity, which is exactly what I believe is happening between us right now. Ellen Ellen gave herself this experience as a birthday gift. I thought that was so cool. She came in feeling stuck, negative, and disconnected from herself. But what emerged was a confident, peaceful, deeply authentic woman. And she remembered who she was. That's the most important thing, her authentic self, and started living from that place. And Cindy was actually a therapist of 25 years. She was a therapist herself and had gone to therapy for a lot of those years. And I remember her saying how powerful even our first meeting was. But she had carried traumas for decades. Despite all her experience, she still felt broken, unsure, and disconnected from joy. Through our work, she reclaimed her wholeness. She now walks with peace, wisdom, and an inner confidence that has been buried for years. The next level version of you is closer than you think, and these results are waiting for you too. All right, let's get into the core concept number one. So, the real reason why whatever you're trying isn't working. So, I've taken classes, done therapy, but I still feel the same. I don't know if anyone can relate to this. You may have processed your pain. Sound familiar at all? You may have processed your pain, shared your story, and gained insight, which can feel validating. But if you're looping the same narrative, what happens is you just keep it alive. It just stays with you. And talking about it repeatedly, like actually Mary and Cindy came to me, and that's what they had been doing. And so no wonder they weren't moving forward. It can feel helpful, and I do some therapy too, but it keeps your energy anchored in the past. And if you're anchored in the past, you can't build a new future. To create lasting change, we must go deeper than the story, reprogramming the patterns that come up. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. Um, I don't, I mean, all the things, I don't matter. All right, the next one. And the thing is, you want to start focusing on how you it can expand. So this is another one. I compare myself to others. Ooh, um, that was a biggie. So we've all been there, right? Especially in a world of perfect Instagram reels and curated highlight reels, right? Everybody looks great. And but here's what comparison does. It shuts down your creativity. It disconnects you from your intuition, that connection, and it steals your hope. We always think the grass is always greener on the other side when you believe everyone else has figured it out, right? They all know, we all think they all know what they're doing. Better business, better life, better body, better whatever. And what happens is you start shrinking when you think like that. That self doubt sneaks in, and suddenly the idea that once lit you up gets tossed aside, sabotaged. Comparison doesn't just make you feel bad. It, like I just said, it sabotages your potential. All right, the next one. Ignoring my problem will make it go away. Unfortunately, ignoring the real issue doesn't make it disappear. It buries it deeper. And unresolved emotions don't vanish. They get stored in your body and energy system. They linger in your nervous system, your chakras, and subconscious, and they affect everything. How you speak, talk, what you do. It affects your confidence, your clarity, your ability to trust yourself and to move forward. And here's the kicker. They always resurface when you least expect them. Avoidance keeps you stuck in the same cycle. Healing moves you forward with peace, power, and ease. So none of those strategies, rehashing, comparing, avoiding, get to the root. That's the issue. And that's what we're here today for. Getting to the heart of the issue so you can finally move forward. Concept number 2, how to get off the self-doubt roller coaster. Let's talk about how to stop the exhausting cycle of overthinking, procrastination, and paralyzing doubt. First, let's bust some common misconceptions you might be telling yourself. All right. I don't have time. Who is this? That was me. We all, here's the thing, we all have 24 hours in a day. So the question is not about time, it's about where you put your attention. And let's be honest, How much time do you spend worrying, anxiety, replaying what you should have said, what you should have done, sitting in judgment, scrolling social media, zoning out on Netflix? Worry, rumination, and distraction are huge time drains, way more than you realize. And that's a fact. Just for the heck of it, think of something that may have been bothering you that you think about a lot. This will bring awareness to it. Just think about that. And most people do do that. They ruminate for like 7 to 8 hours a day about things. So I'm going to be very conservative. I just want you to give you a perspective. Say you did it for 2 hours. You were worrying or on social media, whatever it is. And so that is 2 hours in a day. That's 14 hours in a week. That's 56 hours in a month that you could be doing something else. And people say they don't have time. If you do it for 4 hours, that's over 100 hours in a month. So I'm not, you can do the math if it's any more than that. Uh, there's so much, so it's not about time. All right, let's go to the next one. I have to be good at something before I start. Another biggie. This belief is sneaky, and it's one of the biggest confidence killers. You may tell yourself, I need more training. I need more, I'm not ready. Or what if I mess up? What will people think? But here's the truth. Procrastination breeds more self-doubt, and perfectionism is fear in disguise. We stall, we hesitate, we overthink, all in the name of getting it right. But really, we're just trying to play safe. And let's be real. Perfection, I love this, perfection is poverty. When I heard that, that's when I started saying, okay, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to do it. And faith has a lot to do with that. Faith is huge. So, and so it's built, confidence doesn't come it doesn't come before action. So it does take action. It takes doing something. So, and by the way, perfection is poverty. It's not only financially, it's emotionally and spiritually. So it's built through action, small, imperfect steps that move you forward. And here's the thing, God, he doesn't ask for perfection. God, universe, source, whatever you say, doesn't ask for perfection. You're asked to show up in faith and say yes. Take that step, then watch what unfolds. In my program, the Confidence Ignited Method, we focus precisely on that, rewiring the perfectionism trap, building your decision making muscle, and cultivating unstoppable inner trust. All right, so the next one, it's wrong for me to spend money on myself because I should save it. So let's talk about the guilt that often gets in the way of growth. I used to believe that investing in myself was selfish or irresponsible, that I should be saving it instead. That belief cost me dearly. I'm not saying not to save, but I skipped a class that could have transformed my life because I didn't think I was worth the investment. And meanwhile, I watched a colleague soar. She chose to invest in herself, which transformed her life. And that, the, um, could you put this, Lily? I think it might be, could you mute, please?
My dad's gonna see that. He's just starting to like me. No, he's not. You gotta talk to him at some point, babe. No, I don't. I'm just
Somebody is talking. Can you please mute?
look at Ben.
I think it's Lily. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. So anyway, I and so the difference wasn't talent or luck. It was confidence and belief in her value, which she gained from getting the confidence and reprogramming. So here's the truth. The best investment you can make is yourself because it pays tenfold. Now, Warren Buffett said this, and this is what he said when asked, what is the most important thing you would tell someone? And he said, this is what he said, to invest in yourself, ahead of real estate and investing. And I have found that to be so true because I always have what I've learned. I can always utilize it in everything that I do. So, and then I love the quote too, you will never be able to escape your heart, so it's better to listen to what it has to say. And this was from The Alchemist. Because here's the thing, you'll always be chasing it. If you've got something, a nudge in your heart, go for it. Go for it. Otherwise, you'll always regret that. When you delay your growth out of guilt, you pay in other ways through missed opportunities, lingering self-doubt, and staying stuck in a loop of playing small. I heard T. Harv Eker, he's a motivational speaker, say, when you stop learning, you die. And I have always taken this to heart because we're here not just to survive, we're here to thrive. And you are meant to experience joy, peace, success, guilt, I'm sorry, not guilt, scarcity, or self neglect. So ask yourself, what is it costing you to hold back? All right, concept number 3, the discovery that changed everything for me. You're here because you're craving more ease, confidence, joy, and abundance in every part of your life. Here's what I discovered. We often stay trapped by negative thoughts and distractions. For real, lasting change, you need to take intentional action. And it's not about wishing for a better life. It's about learning to shift your mindset and having faith that everything is working out for you. So adopting a positive mindset is powerful, but not always easy. I get it. This discovery led me to my biggest breakthrough, which I now help other women uncover for themselves. Because here's what can happen. You get stuck in a hamster wheel. See all those things? I'm not going to read them, but we've talked about all of those. And this was me. And I see this with my clients. It's just around and around. It's the same old thing. And you feel confused, doubtful, frustrated, stuck in a cycle that feels impossible to break. After my divorce, I realized how deep my self-doubt ran. It didn't start there. It actually started in childhood. And it started, I had a critical mom. And it was reinforced in a marriage where I lost my voice and I felt invisible and unworthy. Even after years of personal development, I still sabotaged myself and I was focused on everything outside of me. But the real shift happened when I turned inward and faced my thoughts. And that's what I saw. That's when I saw that I had been running on an outdated program. an outdated mental programming, like trying to install, think of it like trying to install new software on a computer. It doesn't work. It's not compatible. It so there's a lot of resistance, right? And then you get stuck when this happens, when you try to do that, if you haven't changed the past, and have, especially if stuff is still coming up for you. So I had to rewire my mind and clear out those old beliefs that kept coming up to change my life. And that's when everything started to shift. And it's exactly what I help women do now. So here's the thing, you have control. And I always tell my clients this, you have control of your thoughts. Fact is, we have approximately 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And for most people, it's about 75% are negative. And here's the thing, when those negative thoughts are nurtured, the ruminating, they just keep expanding. And so you can turn that around. That's what we do, is we turn the thinking around so you're expanding positive thoughts. And I always tell my clients too that you are the master of your mind. You have to, as a mindset coach, I know you have to instruct your mind what to do. Otherwise, it'll just think about anything. It's got free reign. You want to take hold of that. And that's what I teach. I help you train your brain so you're thinking the way that you want. You're deleting that stuff that you don't want. And what you're thinking is your reality. That's the thing. And that was a turning point for me. I read the book Biology of Belief, and that's where he talks about the science of that. And there's actually a Harvard study to prove it too, that your reality is what you are thinking right now. And that was through quantum physics. So according to quantum physics, our thoughts emit energy that shapes the world around us. Our thoughts do. And we are all connected through a field of collective consciousness that responds to our thoughts and emotions. So not only are you affected, but everyone around you as well. So you are 100% responsible for creating your reality. We all have our own, and I'm here to show you how. All right. Your outdated system is holding you hostage. So first, we've got to identify the negative paradigms. So the things that may come up, I'm not enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't matter, these things. This is what we end up shifting. And then we detach the old beliefs, because when it's stored in your body, it's stored in your subconscious, it's stored with an association of something that happened. So it's that feeling that you have. And if you don't get it out of your subconscious, it's going to keep coming up. And then what that does, we build new neural paths in your brain. When you repeat something long enough and you have those positive thoughts, you're going to now have your connections are going to be positive, and you will default easier to positive. You're going to default to positive and not negative. So many times I see people who just default to the negative, and that's what we switch. So, for example, for years, I didn't realize that I was operating from an old victim mindset, and I thought I'd move on. I had moved on. But it kept resurfacing in my excuses, my self-doubt, and the way I spoke to myself. And I was unknowingly holding on to fragments of that old identity. It's all about the identity. We want to switch your identity. Victim thinking, now, is more than you think. It appears whenever we believe something outside of ourselves, such as circumstances, anything outside of you, your environment, your past, when you're thinking about that's got control of your mind, or you're thinking about politics a lot. We are victim to that. Does that make sense? We're a victim to that. And it's controlling our brain. And that's what I want to get you out of. So a simple thing I would suggest is to switch to the opposite. Whatever you're thinking, I want you this next week, think to the opposite. Or think of gratitude, what you're grateful for. This is going to shift it because those little shifts make a huge difference. So the power is in letting it go, and it's not dwelling on this stuff. All right, so the next one. So align to the authentic you. So imagine your life now, just for a moment, worry-free, never dwelling in self-doubt again. Imagine loving who you are and having a positive, uplifting effect on everyone you meet. And imagine living your dream. And your dream is everything because your vision is so important. It's your purpose. It's hope. And even in the Bible, it says, where there is no vision, the people will perish. People perish. People think so lowly of themselves when they don't have a purpose. It's one of the first things I try once we get rid of everything. I try to, evoke is what is important to you. What is your purpose? So loving yourself is the foundation. And when you let go of resistance and create a clear vision, you tap into hope and possibility. Because you can't imagine, if you can't imagine your dream, how can you live it? So you have to see it. And everything, I learned this with Bob Proctor, everything is created twice. Everything. You think of it first in your mind, and then it becomes physical. So think of anything in front of you, your computer, this glass, this, anything is created twice. So we get to do that. So to do that, to live your dream, you must change the outdated system driving your self-doubt and replace it with a proven method that works. So here's what has to happen. You need to get to the root of the cause of the outdated system in your brain that's been running the show, fueling your self-doubt and keeping you stuck. And then you need a proven method, a straightforward step-by-step process to stop spinning your wheels and finally focus on what works. And that's when everything changed for me. When I discovered that the 5 elements that help me release self-doubt and step into my most aligned, confident, joyful self. So these were the elements. Reframe the root, and we've talked about these. I had to identify and rewire the outdated beliefs, keeping me stuck, and nurture new, empowering ones to upgrade my inner system. Follow a clear path. A step-by-step plan helped me focus, connect with my authentic self, and release resistance that was silently sabotaging me. And then elevate my energy, training my brain to live on a higher vibration. This is huge. We learn this in my program. Those of you who have taken it, a vibration is everything. And I'm just going to say that. It's a vibration, being on a higher vibration of feeling joy, feeling peace, feeling love, as opposed to feeling frustration, resentment, sadness, and fear, and all these things. You can't be creative. We went over all that you don't, nothing happens in that place. You get stuck, you get contracted. So in my program, we raise your vibration. So you're open and possibilities start to happen. So raise training my brain to live on a higher vibration. Help me to take an aligned, inspired action without burning out or overthinking. Get professional support, having access to a mentor who could help me with questions to everything, and it helped me move faster and stay out of my own way, and then to be supported too. And really, accountability was the key for me, just to be accountable. So I created this program because I suffered in silence too long and trying to figure out all of it on my own. And now I've combined the most powerful tools and practices from my own transformation, as well as the breakthroughs I've helped clients achieve over the past 7 years. So add that to my decades in wellness coaching, and you've got a path that works. So it's your time to break through and live your most joyful life, your most abundant and aligned life. So, are you ready to create your life? So, let me ask you this. Who here knows that they're meant for more? More peace, more confidence, more joy, more purpose. You wouldn't be here if you didn't feel that nudge. That whisper that's there is saying that something's bigger. That whisper that something's bigger and better waiting for you. And the truth is, you have two choices. You can keep doing what you're doing, or you can decide to make a change. And because self-doubt and negative thinking aren't going to disappear magically, you need to shift out of the outdated system that no longer is serving you. And that changes everything. I can tell you that right now. Who here knows they want something more in life? Do you know there's something bigger, something better for you? More joy, more money. You know, when your vibration is high, then you do attract more money, and you attract more joy. You attract so much more in your life, and your relationships are better. Your health is better. So your choice is to stay the same or learning to shift out of negative thinking by changing your outdated system that no longer serves you. And I guarantee you've never had anyone do it the way I do or give you the support that I do during your transformation. So before we move on, and there's another key point here too that you're really going to enjoy. All right, so let's just recap for a minute what you've learned. We've covered a lot today, and so let's quickly go over the 3 core concepts that you learned. So the real reason why whatever you're trying isn't working. So you learned that no matter how many things you try, therapy, meditation, affirmations, even ignoring your feelings, they often don't stick. Why? Because the root issue isn't being addressed. You've just been working on an outdated system, inner system, that reboots self-doubt, overthinking, and worry. And no matter how hard you try, you can't move forward. And so until you change that system, the patterns will continue to repeat. Clients tell me their health, their relationships, and energy levels shifted once they transform their thinking. This work touches every area of your life. How to stop the self-doubt roller coaster. You learned how self-doubt thoughts can take over your progress and the joy in your life. Think about how long your negative thoughts have been with you and how they've become such a part of you that they're automatic. So have compassion for yourself. It's not your fault. We all have issues in our subconscious. buried, trust me, in our subconscious. And until we address these issues, they'll continue to affect our state of mind and our confidence. And so I see so many programs out there that don't address this. They just kind of move into moving you forward. And I wish there was one for me back then. I would have really appreciated this. And when I really needed it. Now, the last one here, the discovery I made that changed everything for me, this is extremely powerful because I walked you through the exact method I used with all my clients to help them get unstuck and uncover their superpower, their authenticity and confidence without getting frustrated and doing things that don't work. So changing your outdated system is key. Now, you showed up today because you want to move forward with a clear mind without wasting your time on worry or self-doubt. You want rock solid confidence without spinning your wheels or doing things that don't work. You want a simpler, proven way to build your confidence without spending hours figuring it out. You want to feel empowered to live with more joy, peace, and fulfillment and manage your day with ease. Can you feel that? Do you resonate with that vision? Because we've already touched on the secret sauce for creating that life. And I want to share a powerful story that brings it all home. Back in the 1960s, a plastic surgeon noticed something unusual. Patients would undergo surgery to alter their appearance, yet they didn't see much of a difference afterwards. And one woman was asked several times what she thought while looking in the mirror. Now, the man was Maxwell Maltz, by the way, who wrote this book. And he asked this woman if what she saw in the mirror, and she kept shaking her head no. Now, she had a huge scar on her face. She kept shaking her head no. And finally she goes, "Oh, I see it, but I don't feel any different." And so he got very curious and wanted to know why, which led him to cybernetics, the science of automatic control systems. So think of an airplane. When it drops in altitude during turbulence, the system automatically corrects itself to return to a set point. So now it's just like a thermostat resets to a set temperature. And you have a set point inside you too. And Maxwell Maltz discovered that people have internal thermostats, mental and emotional set points. Unless we change that internal setting, we'll continue to fall back on old ways of thinking and behaving no matter what we do on the outside. So this is exactly what we shift in the Confidence Ignited method. We help you to raise that inner thermostat so you can stop resetting back to self-doubt and finally own your own level, your next level. And think of it like this. You hit a new goal. You feel amazing, right? Because you had the courage to do that. And then suddenly that inner voice creeps in. I don't deserve this. I got lucky. Anybody think this? It used to happen to me all the time. What if I can't keep it up? And that's your outdated system trying to pull you back down. Now it tries to keep you safe, but we want to come out of our comfort zone. And so we have to, this is the way that we can do that is by getting rid of that other stuff that's blocking us. So when you change your identity, how you see yourself, your thoughts, habits, energy begin to align with who you really are, your authentic self. This alignment allows you to become the version of you who's already living the life that you want. So I hope this helps you to see that it's not your fault. It's your programming, and that can be changed. So real quick, we're almost done here. By the end of this, so here was my promise. By the end of this training, and this has been realized, by the end of this training, I will show you how to shift away from self-doubt thinking, second guessing yourself, and sabotaging your dreams. So you will know how to make decisions confidently, feel elevated, and lead a life you choose with certainty, prosperity in all areas of your life. So here's the thing. Here's what I want you to remember. What I've shared with you isn't theory, it's real. And it worked for me and it's worked for my clients, all of whom started feeling stuck, unsure, and full of self-doubt, just like you might be feeling right now. I'm not special, they're not special. The only difference is that they took action. So they followed a proven method with the right support, and they permitted themselves to grow. And so can you. So you're halfway there already. All right, so this question is choice A. You can take what you've learned and try to go it alone, still second guessing, still procrastinating, and still stuck in your energy, or in your time, energy, and opportunities. Or you can choose the simpler path, the one where you invest in yourself, get the support and step-by-step structure you need, and finally see real results. So let me know who's ready to finally be in the flow finally and experience this radical confidence, joy, and certainty to realize your dreams. Let me know if this is you, because without change, nothing changes. And so you don't have to do this alone. All right, so let's bring it all together. So here we go. Let me go to the next one here. Hold on. All right, before I show you, I just want to bring one more on here. You can just read these testimonies real quick. Barbara said, "Your work is so needed in our world today. I love doing your course. It gave me the courage to host my own summit and believe in myself and my abilities." And so she's incredible. She had a powerful career. She did extremely well. Yet there were certain areas that she needed to really up her confidence. And so it was incredible to see that. Madison, Karen was truly amazing during our sessions and changed my life. This was the best investment I ever made. And you can go on to read what she says. Marcella said, "I gained powerful tools that allow me to shift my energy, clear negative thoughts and action items that allow me to be present and more focused in all I do." I love having these tools in my toolbox, and they have forever changed my thinking. So with your permission, can I just take a couple of minutes? I just want to share how to take your next step, if that's okay. Let me get rid of this thing up here. I can't see over here. All right, great. So I've set aside time. Oops, see if I can change this. Let's see. It's not. Here we go. Okay. So I've set aside time over the next 2 to 3 days to connect with those of you who are ready to take action. On this call, we'll talk about where you are, where you're going, and how I can personally help you to build a powerful confidence and elevate your life in just 90 days. So this is what we'll talk about. Clarity. You'll get clarity on your goal and your desire. And by the way, I'm going to give you the link for that in a minute. Clarity on your goal or desire that you want to achieve. You'll gain insight into what's blocking your momentum or confidence. You'll get a few powerful strategies tailored to your path, and we'll explore whether working together in the Confidence Ignited method is a fit for you or not. And so it is time to take aligned action. So you're going to get a taste of how this transformational method actually works. And so I'm going to give you the link in just a minute. And I just told you what we ended up going over. And yes, this call is free because this is my mission. Helping women release what no longer serves them and unlock their confidence isn't just what I do, it's who I am. So whether we move forward together or not, you'll walk away with clarity and value that move you closer to the life that you want. Because nothing changes unless you do. Let this be your turning point. So let's get clear. This call is not for you if you're not open to shifting out of old limiting patterns. You want a quick fix instead of a true transformation. You resist accountability or personal growth. You're attached to staying the same even if it costs you peace. You're not open to a new way of thinking, being, and living. This call is for you if you are ready to challenge your old identity. Are you ready for a new identity? To step into that. And this is where you can break the glass ceiling. When you have to become that person. You already are that person. You have to realize her actually. And that's what becoming authentic, this program really does. So you want a proven path instead of trying to figure it all out yourself. You're coachable, committed, and want accountability. And you're tired of spinning your wheels and ready for lasting change. You're ready to expand the life you know is possible. So, whoops, you're open. Okay. And so let's go to the next one. So this is it. You can either take a screenshot. Hold on a second here. Hold on. You can take a screenshot. Let me go to, let's see, where's the chat here? Here we go. Okay. I don't know why. Oh, here it is. Okay. So I put the link, just so you know, in the chat as well for you. All right. So you can go ahead and take a screenshot of that too, or just copy that link. So this is really the turning point. And if you want support, clarity, and confidence to finally move past what's holding you back, then now's the time. These calls are limited, and if you've felt a tug in your heart, trust that. I always say to trust your nudge. Ask yourself, where will you be in 5 years if nothing changes? This isn't mindset work, it's soul level identity transformation. And this is what is needed for a lot of people, not everybody. It's NLP based, personalized, powerful, and filled with joy. It's filled with heart and high level support. And you'll get what you'll get in the complete Confidence Ignited method is time-tested techniques and simple empowering tools. And then you're going to get, if there's a group, we'll have some group coaching, but you're also, what I've added in, you're going to be getting one-to-one coaching the whole way. So every week there's modules that you do, and then we do coaching. We talk about it, and we do releasing. We do so many things. And you're going to have a loving, encouraging environment with me as your biggest cheerleader. And so what I've added is anybody in the next, before Saturday, who ends up joining, I'm going to give you an extra month. I'm going to give you an extra month because we've got some holidays coming up, things like that. So that, and it's extra coaching for you. So this is only as if you book it in the next, before Saturday. So, or if we talk on Saturday. So I got the last one coming up, last slide. Secure your clarity and confidence. Activation call now. This is your moment. All right, we did it. Thank you so much for taking the time for being here, live or on the replay. And as I mentioned at the beginning, this is my mission to provide women like you with tools, support, and confidence I once lacked, to show you that it can be easier, it can be lighter, and more aligned. I'm so excited to talk to you. If you booked a call, and if you're still thinking about it, follow your nudge. It's not random. It's your soul asking for more. There is more for you. Thanks again from my heart, and we'll talk soon. And if you want to stay for questions, I'll be on for a little bit. All right, I'm going to stop the recording.